Hello and welcome, everybody. We are going to talk about abandonment and loneliness. Abandonment and loneliness. Um, a lot of people, whether you realize it or not, carry a fear of abandonment. You either went through some trauma, some situation when you were young, you learned what abandonment was, maybe you had a disengaged parent. Whatever the reason, maybe when you were younger, you had your first heartbreak. Someone broke up with you and you were devastated. There are thousands of ways that we feel abandoned, rejected, lonely. A lot of times when people are single and they really would prefer to be in a relationship where they really do want to find the one, and they go through loneliness. A lot of people who are spiritually awakening have phases of kind of extreme loneliness that they go through. We're going to talk about this abandonment stuff and loneliness stuff because I want to give you a deeper level of awareness about it, what is really going on. So almost every human on this planet, I mean this literally, almost every human on this planet at one time or another, or currently, has the fear of abandonment, carries a fear of abandonment. Many people go through phases where they feel really lonely. Maybe you feel isolated, very alone. A lot of people that suffer from depression or major depressive disorder go through phases of feeling desperately lonely, isolated, alone. A lot of people who have mental emotional health issues, a lot of veterans and first responders, for example, that struggle with PTSD and depression and all the anxiety. A lot of people have the sense of a strong sense of loneliness, they waves of loneliness. And I'm going to take you deeper into this because I want you to understand the majority of the fear of abandonment or the feelings of abandonment, the majority of the loneliness that you feel are not created or caused by any other human being, no matter what has happened to you. Take a deep breath and drop into your heart if that triggered you, because you're going to understand more deeply in a few moments. I want you to stay with me on this one. For those of you who suffer from some of these things and a lot of this emotional pain, this is so key that you get this and understand it. What we do to ourselves because of our conditioning, the programs that we run, how we're treated when it comes to emotions from the time we're children. We're taught to suppress. We're taught that women are crazy and over emotional. And men, boy, do we say a lot of nasty things about men. How pathetically weak they are because they show and express any human emotion. We do that to little boys. So we're taught from very young that you're a sissy or you're a baby if you cry, that you can't show emotion. So from the time you're toddlers or even younger, oh, don't cry, you're taught to stop crying. You're taught to suck it up, buttercup, to toughen up, get a thicker skin. You need to grow thicker skin. You need to not be such a baby. You need to not be such a sissy. Stop crying like a little girl. Whether you're aware of it or not, to some degree, I don't care who you are, you were treated that way. Even if you happen to not have parents specifically that parented you in that way, our culture does it. So you got it. You got it when you went to school, and other kids did that to you because their parents taught them this bullshit. See it? So you got this. Guess what that taught you how to do? Abandon yourself, which of course is then going to create an energy of loneliness. What does it mean you abandoned yourself? Every single time you feel a negative emotion, fear, worry, panic, anxiety, sadness, grief, anger, frustration, and you pop that pill, you ignore it, You deny it. You suppress it. You go masturbate and watch porn. You grab that drink or two or five. You go do yoga. You go to the gym. You go for a run. Every single time that you are triggered and in emotional pain of any degree, 1 to 10, of any degree, every single time you do anything but open your heart to that pain and love and nurture that pain, you're abandoning yourself. And yes, that is a form of powerlessness. That is a form of powerlessness, which is why when you feel abandoned, or even just the fear of being abandoned gets triggered or activated within you, or when you're moving through the emotions of feeling really lonely, when you're moving through these experiences and you do anything under the sun other than learn what it means to actually love your pain, you, my friend, are abandoning yourself. And then you don't want your spouse or your partner or your family members or your close friends or your loved ones to abandon you. But you see, we teach people how to treat us. And when you are constantly abandoning yourself all the time, why would other people not learn to abandon you too? I hope a light bulb went off for at least some of you. If you're not quite getting it, hang in there, have patience, breathe into your heart center and keep listening. How could you possibly not feel lonely at some point in your life when you have been conditioned to abandon yourself constantly? And then we get really desperate. For those of you who are single, we get really, really desperate to be in a partnership. We want that person to love us. We want to be in a team, in a partnership, in a loving commitment. We want our one and only, our soulmate. And we get kind of desperate for that sometimes because we feel like the love is going to come from someone else. You won't feel lonely anymore. And temporarily you won't. But then guess what? It creeps back in. Why? Because you didn't heal these wounds. That's why. They're your wounds. Your partner, your spouse, your loved ones cannot heal your wounds for you. Only you can. And when you constantly avoid your emotions, deny your emotions, you're abandoning yourself every single goddamn time. I want you to hear that. I'm going to say it another 100 times before the end of this class. That is what you're doing. So when you get triggered in emotional pain and you want to do everything to make that pain go away, I want this to go away, you're abandoning yourself. Why? Because that pain that shows up is an old wound. It comes from something that was unhealed. It comes from a trauma. It comes from a negative experience that caused the pain to begin with. And you didn't know how to love and process your pain in a powerful way back then. So it's getting triggered now. And right now is the time to step into your power and offer it nothing but unconditional love, instead of abandoning your own pain, because that's not love at all. Sure as hell isn't self-love. Loving yourself means you never again abandon your pain. You love and nurture yourself through the painful moments, period, end. Being in your power, being powerful, does not mean you don't feel pain. Being powerful means when the pain comes, you drop into your heart space. You love and nurture your pain because you're powerful enough to sit with your pain and love it so that it processes and dissolves and is no longer a part of you in any way. To be powerful doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you learn how to love pain. So you love your pain when it comes up. That, my friends, is self-love. That's what it means to love yourself. Avoiding your pain, denying your pain, suppressing your pain, coping with your pain, none of that is love. All of those are forms of abandonment. And you wonder why you're so damn lonely. Because you need to stop abandoning yourself constantly every single day when your anxiety hits. Stop abandoning yourself. You won't feel so damn lonely. Learn what it means to drop in and fully and truly and authentically process the wounds that are expressing themselves through physical symptoms of your body. They need your love. And the truth is, when you learn how to connect to your internal power, the light that is you, the connection to your higher soul, which can only happen through your heart center, only when you learn to do that and offer that to your pain and then grow that damn muscle, are you powerful enough to heal your pain. Now you're a powerful being. Running from your pain, avoiding it, suppressing it, none of that is power. It's the opposite. Powerlessness is someone who can't handle their emotions. That's powerlessness. It's time for you to heal yourself by shifting and connecting to your power. Shift into your true power and stop abandoning yourselves. With the coaching programs that are offered through Masters of Self University, we teach exactly how to do this step by step so that you grow in your power over time. And then guess what? Negative emotions get triggered and you just love them. You powerfully transmute them into a higher frequency. You do that. You learn how to do that. Our Mystical Life Coach certification teaches step by step how to do it for yourself. And only once you're successful in doing that for yourself, do you then move on and learn how to guide, teach, and coach people how to do it for themselves. That's power. That is how you spread the light across the planet authentically. Not through memes, not through social media bullshit. Through doing it yourself and then teaching others how to do it. And that's what we do at Masters of Self University. That's what our Mystical Life Coach certification is all about. It's about transcendence. And it's about teaching you how to authentically connect to the power that is you. Every human being has this power within themselves. Most people just aren't connected to it. And some people are connected to it some of the time, but not consistently, not all of the time. Some people are only connected to it when they're in meditation or when they're doing yoga or something like that. And those things are all lovely. I love all of those things. They're wonderful. But guess what? What happens when somebody then breaks up with you or files for a divorce? What happened to your power then? Because that's when it matters, isn't it? What happens when your best friend dies? That's when you need your power. That's when you need it. What happens when yet another veteran who didn't get the kind of help he or she needs committed suicide? There goes another one. Because that's when you need your power. And we're not taught how to connect to our power. We are literally taught the opposite. We are taught, brainwashed, and conditioned how to be very powerless, and we have no idea that we're doing it. No idea that we're doing it. So I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you. Are you ready to become the power that you have inside? Are you ready to connect to it truly? Are you ready to be the light, the power that you, everyone that knows you, that this world needs in order to spread more authentic healing and light across the globe? Are you ready for that? You don't chant Om. You don't meditate every day and then this magically happens. It's work. To be a light warrior, you have to become the warrior. And the warrior isn't somebody who suppresses his or her emotions. That's not a warrior. That's powerlessness. We are taught ass backwards of how we need to show up in this world. And then we wonder why we're stuck. We wonder why we can't heal. We wonder why we have such devastating fears of abandonment. And we wonder why we feel so goddamn lonely all the time. This is why. You don't know how to love your pain, which means you don't know how to love yourself. You hear the emergency signals telling you to get to work, to connect to your power, to connect to your inner light, to actually figure out and learn how to do that. Because that is what you need to do to truly heal yourself out of loneliness, out of depression, out of anxiety, out of the feeling of being so stuck in life. No matter how hard you try to heal your relationship or yourself, no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to really work. You just end up getting right back to the pain, to where you were before. I want you to really understand it's because what you've learned, what you have been conditioned to do, is to constantly, every day of your life, abandon yourself. And there is no way you won't go through the loneliness and feel that when you've learned your whole life to abandon yourself. When you do authentic, and I don't mean some people spewing out, oh, everything's transformational healing. I offer transformational healing. No, you don't. Very few people know actually what it is. That is not a judgment or a criticism. It is the goddamn truth. They use it as marketing techniques to make money off of you. They're not offering authentic transformational healing. They're not. So be careful. But when you do move through authentic transformational healing, almost everybody that moves through it hits a wave of loneliness at some point. Why? Because the loneliness that you've been creating your entire lifetime by abandoning yourself in your darkest moments, in your scariest times when your fears came up, in your times of sadness, the times that you were too afraid, that you weren't strong enough to handle the pain you were feeling inside, so you coped, you avoided, you denied, you masturbated, you went and had sex, you did drugs, you drank, you worked out for the third time that day. Whatever it was that you did to avoid your emotions, you abandoned yourself. You now have a whole bank account just completely filled with the currency of loneliness. And that needs to be healed. So authentic transformational healing, often people go through a period of loneliness. Why do I feel so lonely? Why do I feel so lonely? I've been feeling so powerful. I've been feeling so amazing. I've been feeling so fantastic. I've been feeling lighter and lighter and clearer with all of this work. And all of a sudden I'm feeling lonely. That can happen to some people in this work. And the reason is, oh, look at that. You're powerful enough now to finally love your loneliness and to process and heal that. That's why it's coming up now. So it doesn't usually hit you until you're powerful enough to actually process it. But I'm giving you these examples for a reason, because I want to make you aware. You cannot heal what you're not aware of, what you're unwilling to see within yourself, how you are actually showing up in the world versus how we like to think we're showing up. How you are actually showing up is somebody who doesn't love themselves and somebody who abandons themselves. That's how you're actually showing up. When you don't yet know how to fall in love with what it means to love your pain. When you don't have those skills, you're not healing shit. You're healing nothing if you don't know what that really means. Love your pain. Healing doesn't happen when you're not connected to your heart center, your soul, your light. That's where healing occurs. Trying to get the pain to go away. I don't want to feel it. Go away, go away. That will never heal your pain. It keeps it trapped. which is why it builds up and builds up. And you've been to therapy for so many years. Why do you still have so much pain? Why are you still emotionally suffering so severely when you've been going to therapy for years? Because talk therapy doesn't work. It doesn't heal shit. That's why. But here's what a lot of people don't know about talk therapy. I'm going to let you in on a secret. This is the trap. But when I go to my therapist or when I have a friend listen to me and I'm crying to my friend and I just feel better because they just let me talk. They let me get it out, or my therapist let me talk. And we talked about it and I felt better after that session. Well, 10 years later, you're still doing the same goddamn thing. Why are you not healed? Because talking about it doesn't heal shit. It doesn't heal. Why do I feel better temporarily after I talk about my stuff, my pain, my problems? Why do I feel better then? Because talking about sharing your pain, your problems creates heart-to-heart connection with another person. That's why. Connection, that is authentically connecting. That's an authentic connection between two people, even if it's in a professional setting. Your coach, your therapist, your counselor, and you. It's a very safe, loving space. It's a non-judgmental space. You feel safe enough to share. And when you share heart to heart, we are all energy. This is an energetic thing. Heart to heart connection automatically happens. That feels lovely. That's why we get in a trap. We get fooled into thinking, well, I feel better. Look, I healed some stuff. You didn't actually heal anything in that moment. That's the truth. But you connected to another human, and that always feels lovely. And that's where we get tricked into thinking we're healing stuff. Would I feel better when I go to therapy? How quickly then do you not feel good? Transformational healing is not about talking about your problems. It's about no more abandonment of yourself and your pain. When you learn the skills and you learn how to do this for yourself, not only will you heal absolutely everything and become emotionally free and very, very, very powerful, not only will that happen, but in addition to that, you'll never feel lonely again. You can't feel lonely when you don't abandon yourself anymore. It's not possible to feel that deep loneliness when you never abandon yourself. You always have someone there for you. And learning how to do that is a process. Learning exactly what that means is a process. You're not going to learn it through some meme or a class, one class, or hearing this for the first time. Hearing it and learning the process to achieve it are two different things. But hearing it means you're more self-aware, and self-awareness is 100% of the time the first step. So at least you've got the first step. You've taken the first step. Self-awareness. So how do I abandon myself again? By avoiding, suppressing, ignoring, denying my own painful emotions? Yes. That's how. And that's why you won't heal. That's why healing feels hopeless, impossible. You can't do it. You haven't been given the skills to learn what the process of authentic healing actually is. And that includes learning how to never again abandon yourself when you're in pain. That is it. If you really want to learn this at the deepest levels, you want to learn how to do this for yourself, then I strongly encourage you to go to mastersofselfuniversity.com, click on the Mystical Life Coach certification page, and fill out an application. I strongly encourage you to do it. Fill out an application. Learn more. See if this is right for you. See if you're ready for this level of power. If you're ready to become a light warrior for real, then this might be for you. Fill out an application. Check it out. See if you're called or drawn to this. See if you really are ready to fully heal yourself at the deepest levels, because that's what this offers. And not only do you learn how to do it 100% for yourself, you then learn how to offer it to everybody else. What a gift you are. That is it for now. Stop abandoning yourself. Learn what it means to love your pain. And if you really want the help to do that, check out Masters of Self University and check out the Mystical Life Coach Certification Program. Any thoughts, questions, or comments? Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always such a pleasure and honor to be in this space with everybody listening. Have a beautiful evening. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.